Hey guys, it's your boy Rahim. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button because I talk about property investment, personal development, and how to gain financial freedom. In this short video, I'm going to share with you why millionaires never pay cash for properties and why you should never pay cash for your investment properties. But before we get to that, I'd like to ask you a favor. We've done a research. We've noticed 55% of the people that are watching my videos have not hit that subscribe button. If you're one of those, I kindly ask you to smash the subscribe button so that you get notification for when I post amazing videos online. And whilst you're there, hit the like button as well so that YouTube would push the videos to wider and wider audiences. In order for you to make your money work a lot harder for you, there's some skills and techniques you need to understand in order to be able to make that money work for you instead of you using all your money in one go and then you're running out of money. We're going to talk about a fascinating topic: why millionaires never pay cash for real estate, because it is just not a financial way of doing it. So I'm going to be taking you through different processes for you to understand why it is not vital. We will go through an example where you've got certain amount of money, you put that money in, what you get, and then I can take you all the other way of leveraging, where you could leverage in doing a different sort of leverages so that you can know how you can make your money work a lot harder for yourself instead of just doing it one time and then sit down, wait, put your fingers across to understand, to wait and see if you can make return on that investment. You see, when it comes to buying properties, millionaires use powerful strategy called leveraging, that they understand that finances are there to give them a better purchasing power to increase their wealth. So it's very important for you to know that. Imagine, let's say you've got £1 million sitting somewhere. I know you might not have that money. Let's just use that example to see what you could do with £1 million. And this can be transferable to any sort of property price or any money you have in your bank. I just like to use round figures in order for it to make a lot more sense for you. Let's say we have £1 million. If an investor went and bought that property without taking any mortgage, basically they get that property £1 million. So they get the property for £1 million. Let's put that £1 million here, okay? And they rent that property. Suppose then that property rented at, let's say they rent that property at 4,500, okay? So once the rent is 4,500, because they own the property outright, they do not pay any mortgage. That means they pay no mortgage. They've got their expenses here, let's say repair and maintenance and other cost. Let's say that then become maybe about, let's say 10% of that, that's £450, okay? So with this then, right, the net profit on this deal would be basically is the 4,500 rent they've received, mortgage is 0 minus the mortgage, and then they've got a repair and maintenance there, 10%. Let's say, suppose then they've got someone to manage the property, let's say management fees as well. Let's say they got someone to manage their property, so that's 10% as well. Let's say 450. So if you minus the 450 from that as well, which is this 450 here, that then gives that investor £3,600 profit. So that's what they would make. So what happens at that point, basically, they pay tax on that £3,600. Okay? So again, that's another way you pay more tax. Okay? So let's give an example. Suppose then this investor uses the same £100,000, £1 million, instead of using the whole £1 million to buy the house, the bank will lend them £750,000 to buy that property. Let's say 75% of that. So the bank lends them 75%, so they've got a debt to pay now, aren't they? So they buy the same £1 million property, okay? With that £1 million property, the rent is the same, yeah, 4,500. Let's say they have an interest to pay. Let's say the interest is about, let's say £1,500, okay? And they've got the same here, rent, and they got the same as repairs, they got the same as fees. So if you bring that down here, they're making £2,100 profit. So out of that £2,100, basically, that's what they're going to pay tax on. Okay? Is that making sense? But the beauty of doing it this way, they've only used 75% of the £1 million they have in their bank account. So in essence, they have another £750,000 to go. So what that does, basically, they can go again and get 3 of these houses. The same houses worth £1 million each. They can go and get the same house, okay, 3 more. That will be house number 2, house number 3, and house number 4. Okay, so now you still got 1 house, 2 house, 3 house, 4 house. So each house they would have put down £250,000. Okay, let's say each house they would have put back £250,000. So bear me, I need to hide that. Okay, so they have put that money in. So let's just change that format now to that. Okay, they've put in £250,000. Okay, they put in for the first house. They put that for the second house, third house, fourth house. They put all that money in. So that's 250, 500, 750, and then 1 million. So if you add all that profit together, okay, if you add all that profit together, the first house, okay, you've got the first house here, okay, you've got the second house, you've got the third house, and you've got the fourth house. Okay, so with that then, how much are they making? They're making 2, 4, 6, 8. They're making £8,400 for all 4 of the houses instead of making £3,600. It is making sense. So basically they've leveraged the amount of money they have. They've leveraged it drastically in order to make the money work for them instead of them working for it. Okay, you can see then it's literally more than double, from £3,600 to £8,400, and that is tax efficiently as well because they're still paying their mortgages here. Is that making sense? So that's how you could use property, that's how you can leverage in property to make you serious return on your investment. So instead of paying the property for full cash, right, you can typically take these mortgages, right, 75% of each property, right, and then obviously you go and buy 3 more houses to get you 4 houses that generate you £8,400 per calendar month. That's how you make your money work a lot harder for you instead of you working for it. Let's now say you do not have £1 million to invest. Let's go back down to earth. Suppose you have £100,000. Let's say you got £100,000 to invest. So for £100,000 property, let me just change all these figures again. Okay, let's say for £100,000 you have the £100,000. So if you want to buy a £100,000 house without any mortgage, okay, that's what you could do. Let's say you can rent a £100,000 house, let's say for £8,000 to get the figures nice. Okay, so you've got your £100 here as your repair and maintenance, which is 10%. You've got £100 here, which is fees, that's almost 10%. So that property will generate you about £800 profit, right? Suppose then basically you haven't got any mortgage. Again, £800 is what you make from that £100,000 investment you've made. Okay, that's one way of making that money. Okay, if you want to own the property, you want to be, oh, I'm comfortable, I'll own this property outright. That could be one way of doing it. Okay, you make £800, and again you get tax on that £800. That meaning you pay more tax. Suppose then you do the smarter way as how us millionaires invest in property. So what we're going to do, we know we got £100,000. We're only going to put down 25% of the £100,000, get the bank to lend us the 75%, which is the £75,000. Because we got £100,000, we're going to put £25,000 here in the first house, right? We go put 25,000 in the second house, third house, fourth house. That then gives us the £100,000 investment. Okay, £25,000. Okay, put that there, here, here, and here. You paste it there. Okay, so each house then is £25,000. So we're gonna go then, the same house, the house is still worth £100,000 each, by the way, because you're not actually buying the house outside. The bank will lend you the 75%. So what you now do at that point, you do 100, 100, 100. You've got £100,000 each portfolio, and then you rent the same property. Let's say you rent it for £1,000 as well, right? Same property, but in this occasion, you've got about, you have mortgage to pay. Let's say you've got a mortgage of, let's say £475, and then you've got your £100 here, you've got your £100 here. So in this occasion, you're making £325 per house net profit. Okay, so what you now want to do, basically, you've got your first house making that, you go to your second house, you go to your third house, you go to your fourth house, and now each of those houses are making you £325 per calendar month. So if you times 1 house, 2 house, 3 house, 4 house, times all that, how those houses will be making you £1,300 instead of £800. What is the increase on this? So if you do that minus the £800, so you've increased your cash flow by £500. Now you see how leveraging in property can get you faster and faster to becoming a millionaire, isn't it? So this is how you can use your £100,000 wisely. This is the way you can use your £100,000 tax efficiently. So now, 3 things have happened here. Okay, the number one thing that had happened is leverage, right? We have leverage here. Instead of buying the property outright, we've used the bank to lend us the 75%. That's number one thing we do. And also we're taking advantage of mortgage, right? Because the bank is lending, so we're paying that interest to the bank. So we're taking advantage of paying that because we know we've got a tenant that will be paying us our rent anyways. So that's another benefit. And the other massive benefit we take here is tax benefit. So now each house would be going down in profit is down, right? So we're making more money along that side as well. And also imagine then each of these properties goes up in value, right? It's not just one property, right? Let's say each of these properties goes up in value 10%, 10%, over one 15%, right? Let's just take an example. Say this property here, let's say it goes up by, let's say 10%, okay? That property goes up by 10%. Let's say the next one, okay? This one here, let's say this property here went up by, let's say 13%, okay? Let's say this one also here, let's say it went up by, let's say 12%, okay? Let's say the other one also went up by, let's say just 14%, okay? So if you add all this up here, if you do sum, okay, your property, your 4 properties you would have bought have gone up by £49,000. And you would have made a rent of a year times 12, you would have made £15,000 in rent. So what you then do, you put those 2 monies together, you go again and buy more houses. So look at that. And at that point then you have about, let's say total income you would have made, if you add this plus that there, you would have made how much? £64,000. You can go and buy at least 2 more houses to add into a portfolio because you know you only need £25,000, right? To buy 1 house. You go again, buy 2 more houses. By the time you think about it, your portfolio is going to be growing and growing and growing and growing. And by the time you hit here too, you are a property millionaire where your property is generating at least £5,000 every single month. That would allow you to quit your job and do property full-time. So I really hope this video has been helpful. If this video has been helpful, smash the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. I look forward to sharing next video. Thank you.